Welcome to the Rick Pitino Show, featuring Providence College basketball coach Rick Pitino.
Now what we'd like to do more than anything else is to toast another successful season.
The Rick Pitino Show is brought to you by the Providence Journal-Bulletin and by Coca-Cola and the Coca-Cola Bottling Company of New England. Here's your host, Channel 12's Rick O'Brien.
Welcome, everyone, to the Rick Pitino Show, Week 2, installment number 2 already, Week 2 of the Big East season. And, Coach Pitino, you have already had a couple of Big East contests, a week ago against Pittsburgh, yet at Pittsburgh, and then last Monday night against Syracuse. Your quick overview of how the season has started for you.
Well, 2 hard-fought battles. Unfortunately for the Friars, they ended up in losses. But unlike some lopsided victories that we had early in the season where I was not pleased and impressed with the way we played, I was very much pleased and impressed with both performances. I thought we had some problems during crunch time where we had our shots blocked and it led to easy baskets for them. But outside of that, I thought we played about as well as we could play for this juncture in time.
Well, not bad. Pittsburgh was 17th in the country at that time, now number 14. Syracuse was number 5 last Monday night when they came in here, and I think you gave both those teams something to think about for a little bit later on in the season. Now, I think what we should do is talk about the week that was, the week that just passed, and we'll go back to last Saturday night at Pittsburgh. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, and you tell us what you see here.
Okay, we steal the ball from Charlie Smith. What we're trying to do in this game is take it to Charlie Smith and Jerome Lane. Even though we do lack size, we want to go inside as much as possible and get them in foul trouble, and Charlie Smith was definitely in foul trouble. Some good low post moves, a Walter Berry move by Abdul Shamsuddin. Now we have the press on, and now here goes to Marty Conlon. A lot of savvy up and under. Pumps again and gets the foul, 3-point play. On the fast break here, Carlton screen, leans in, and Abdul fouls out. Abdul can really run the floor, about as quick as you'll find a 6'10" basketball player. And he also, as a freshman, will give up baseline and make a mistake on defense.
Now, second half, Pittsburgh, Coach Evans must have said something to them at halftime.
Oh, without question. Yasik Duda fouls him for a 3-point play. We started to wear down. The officiating wasn't the greatest as far as the Friars were concerned, about the greatest disparity I've seen, 47 foul shots to 9. We have the phantom Friar, and after watching the film twice, we had 9 phantom calls where there was no man near the foul and they were called. They weren't what you call homer officials. They're part of the Big East, obviously. Just error in judgments, and obviously I have the videotape to look back on, but was not pleased with the officiating during the Pittsburgh game. The Syracuse game was well officiated.
Okay, but all in all, you weren't upset at all? You were kind of pleased with the first effort?
Well, I think we're opening up about as difficult as any team in the Big East with our schedule. You know, you go at Pittsburgh, who's favored to one of the top teams to win the conference, then you play the 5th-ranked team in the country, then you go at Villanova, a very difficult team to play.
Well, this brings us to Monday night. You only had 2 nights to prepare, and let's take a look at what happened Monday night here at the Civic Center against Syracuse.
Well, here's Yasik Duda with a jump hook. We're trying to get Yasik to take somewhere between 8 to 10 shots a game. He's not getting in enough, and here's Billy the Kid with a 3-point shot. We did an outstanding job in the first half. Billy Donovan's wearing down a little bit as time goes on because they're showing him so much attention. In the Pittsburgh game, every time Billy Donovan cut through, Curtis Aiken was giving him a whack right to the head. And he was getting hit through the rest of the game. It's good strategy, wear him down as it goes on. Ron Cycli had a great game. We didn't pay enough attention to Ron Cycli. We were trying to stop the other people. That's the one thing about that game. Syracuse had too many easy baskets. This is a big point in the game here. We get 4 tips at the basket. We have everybody on the backboard. And what happens is we leave the other backboard with just one man covering back Billy Donovan, unable to draw the charge, and they get another easy basket. We lost both games, Rick, on the block shot. They blocked the shot, got it back out, and caused easy layups.
Fortunate to get out of here with a win. Our kids just did an unbelievable job the last 10 minutes to come back. Providence played great. They're better, much better, I think, than they played last year. They're much better balance and depth, and they played great. They're going to win a lot of basketball games in the conference, I think. I don't think they're surprised anymore. They're a good basketball team. They're playing good basketball, and they're going to beat a lot of people.
Started to say that was the opposing coach, your opposing coach, Jim Boeheim, who did have some words of praise. Do you think he was kind of pleased to get out of the Civic Center with a 4-point win?
Much like St. John's was last year. You know, we have to, our biggest problem right now is we have to extend so much energy to come close and get a victory, where our opponents, and basically Pittsburgh and Syracuse, get too many easy baskets. They can just go up, pick it up, and dunk it with ease, as if the rim is only 6 feet tall for them. And that's just really a talent difference as far as athletic ability is concerned, but we'll catch up to that.
Well, we've got a lot more Big East season to go, and when we come back, we'll show you how the coach prepares for an upcoming opponent. This will be interesting, but first, a moment in Providence College basketball history.
In 1960, the Friars made their second straight appearance in the National Invitational Tournament. PC lost in the finals to Bradley, but senior Leonard Wilkins was selected the tourney's MVP. Len Wilkins, the Friars' 13th all-time scorer and now successful NBA coach.
Welcome back to the Rick Pitino Show. We have show and tell time here. This is how the Friars prepare for a specific opponent as if you were in the locker room with the coach. And Coach, we were just talking a little bit before about you folks have been called overachievers in the first year or year plus of your tenure here. And part of the preparation and part of that overachiever label doesn't come from just the physical preparation, the layup drills and whatever else you do on the court. Part of it's on the blackboard.
Well, I really believe that. Some people wonder how right away we were able to be competitive with some of the top teams in the Big East. The primary reason is we prepare very well, and we spend about 3 or 4 times more time than the normal team in trying to stop the opponent and also trying to gear ourselves up offensively and scoring on them. This is a scouting report. It's about 15 pages long, and it really is overcoaching. The players will maybe absorb 10 or 20% of this. But by giving them this every single game, they understand it takes the coaches 4 to 5 hours to put this together. They think they're the most over-prepared team in the country. It's a psychological edge, even though they're not absorbing all of this knowledge.
A confidence builder.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, here's what we do. We start out with the goals that we have each and every game. These are our offensive goals. We want to score 85 points per game. We want to convert a 50% field goal percentage. We want to shoot 30 foul shots at a percentage of 78%. We want to take anywhere from 15 to 23s per game.
Regardless of opponent?
Regardless of opponents. Okay. We want to get them. Now, obviously, we're less depending on who we're playing. We want to rebound 50% of those three-point shots taken. We want 25 fast breaks per game, and we want to convert 60% of those fast breaks. We want 15 offensive rebounds, and we want to limit ourselves to less than 14 turnovers per game.
Are these goals you're reaching for, or realistic goals as you and the coaches have?
They're realistic, but you have to play well to obviously get 8 to 10. You're trying to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 60, 70% of your goals.
Okay.
On the defensive side, we want 35 plus deflections per game. Now, Rick, I'll go into what a deflection is, but if we get 35 plus deflections, in 5 years as a head coach at Boston University and 2 years with the New York Knickerbockers, if we get 35 plus, we're going to win 95% of our games, wow, which is an amazing stat. By the way, we had 26 versus Syracuse and 31 versus Pittsburgh. If we shoot, we want to hold our opponents to 42% field goal shooting percentage. We want 12 steals per game. We want to force 22 turnovers per game. We want 5 block shots per game, limit them to 12 offensive rebounds. We want to give up 6 layups, uncontested shots. And we want to make sure they shoot 25% or less from three-point range. 9 and 10 get a little personal, so I won't put it up right now. Okay. Now, the deflection chart, what does that mean? We put so much stock in it. It's a barometer for reading pressure on the basketball. This dot here determines just a deflection. If I'm guarding you and I just get a piece of the ball, that's a deflection. That's pressure, throwing the pass off its path. Then you have the block shot. The challenger shot in the lane, don't give them easy shots. We don't have great shot blockers right now. The steal, obviously, Harold Stark's version, averaging 4 steals per game. Then you have the recovery, a loose ball on the floor, and then the key to the press, the tip from behind. When you're running behind the person, you tip it to one of your opponents, and you go down the other way. That's the deflection chart. Game day. Right now we're out of school, so we'll look at what we're going to do. Okay. 9 o'clock to 9:30, we will shoot 100 foul shots. 9:30 to 10:30, we will walk through every option, from the way Villanova will scratch their head to exactly the way they do every single thing and how we're going to stop it. From 10:30 to 11 o'clock, we work on all the offensive things that we need to prepare for against Villanova's defense. 11 o'clock to 11:30, we splice a film, all the highlights of Villanova on each player and what their strengths are, each individual. 11:30 to 4 o'clock, I tell them to get off their feet, relax. From 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, we go to the Players Corner Pub if we're in town here locally, or we go to the wherever we're staying on the road. We eat our training table, come back, watch the splice once again, and run through all the out-of-bounds plays of the opponents. Now we're ready to play. We come out for warm-ups. At halftime, here's what we do. We come in at halftime, we have our goals on the board, and we're seeing how we're achieving that. Okay, we look at PC and Villanova. Providence College now has been on the break 11 times. we have gone 6 for 11 for 12 points. Villanova has been on the break 5 or 6 times for 10 points. Second shots. Providence College has had 10 second shots for 6 points, and Villanova 5 second shots for 4 points. Obviously, the reason we've been successful on the break is we're limiting the number of second shots by Villanova. Also, they've only gone out 6 times because we have 10 second shots. That's important. We show that on the board to them. We also have, and to look down here, we list every one. We have 30 plays, 5 different sets. So now we have our number 2 play. And Herb Sendek is putting down a dot, a 2, a foul, a dot. And these initials over it mean inside, J, J, inside J. Now we do that with all our options. Let's look at our press, for instance. Here's our white press. We have a white, a black close, a thumb up press. We see they missed a shot against our press. They missed a shot and they turned it over. We fouled them, they got inside. Jump shot, jump shot, jump shot, scored. They're 4 for 6 in our white press. And I'll say to Herb, how's our white press? He'll say, Coach, they're 4 for 6 for 6 points, but stay with it, Coach, because they took 4 jump shots. That's not beating the press. If you can get them to shoot jump shots, rather than, here we are in our black press, they're only 2 for 7 against our black press, but they've gone inside, 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 inside. We want to get out of that press in a hurry.
Yeah.
So we over-organize everything. We introduced the new plays at halftime. We positively reinforce everybody doing a good job, and then we make our adjustments. Out of bounds plays, and obviously it's very technical, but then the next time we play them, we break it down very scientifically.
Piece of cake.
Very easy to understand.
It probably takes a little while for the kids to get used to it, but so far so good.
Yeah, no problem. They do get used to it. It's very technical, but again, you allow for slippage. If they can only absorb 30% of this, they're 30% better off.
That's only the first lesson we're going to have tonight, and I hope there's no quiz after this, too. When we come back, it'll be time for this week's Coach's Clinic. Not the one we just had, but this week's subject, the low post game.
Seal the man by moving him up the lane, take that hard pound, and explode to the rim. Okay, Dave, you do one, Steve, you do one.
Tomorrow's another game. Read all about it in the Providence Journal-Bulletin.
Welcome back. It's said that in order to be successful, you need a good big man. But that big man is not only tough to come by, but he has to have size. He must have the moves, and that's the topic of this week's Coach's Clinic, the offensive low post moves. And here you see Marty Conlon with a great move against Pittsburgh for a 3-point play. This is how we teach the moves.
The low post game, the war in the paint. I've always wondered when I was with the New York Knicks why Bernard King scored so many points between that block and the first marker, whereas a man like Truck Robinson, bigger, taller, obviously stronger, did not score as many points. It starts with one area. It's called the seal. We like to post up our low post game on what's called the first marker. On a basketball court, you have the block or the box. The first mark-up is called your first marker, and obviously your second and third. We like to post up on the first marker, so if we turn baseline, we always have our board game. If we post up on the block and we turn baseline, we can no longer bank the ball in. What Bernard King does and makes him so great, Kevin McHale as well, Dominique Wilkins, is they block the man out. Now, Steve, play me. Some players played a low post small, and Steve covers half my body. And now Billy must be a surgeon to get the ball to me before Steve deflects it. What we try and teach is take your forearm and place it in his joint. Step over his top leg.
Back up.
Step over his top leg, and now show Billy your entire body. If we can do this successfully with the 5 moves that we'll now show you, we think you can score from the low post with ease. The first move is Moses Malone. Move number 1. What Moses will do in the game is Moses will catch it, turn and seal the guy, get him on his back. He will now, as Dave comes, take a dribble, shoot it. Dave tries to rebound, he misses it. Shoots it, misses it. Shoots it, misses it. He now has 3 rebounds. He always shoots the 4th and then leads the league in rebounding. What we try and do each time is seal the man by moving him up the lane, take that hard pound, and explode to the rim. Okay, Dave, you do one. Steve, you do one. Ready? Hard pound, left hand, throw it out. Steve, post up, wide, wide, hard pound, explode. Okay, now let's do a Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale likes to jump hook. We'll move the man down the lane. Steve, let him move you down. Move the man down the lane. Now we'll drop step middle, point our shoulder to the rim, and jump hook. Move him down, hard, jump hook. All right, Stephen, you do it. Move him down the lane, jump hook. Okay, number 3. 3 is Bernard King. The hard fake. Stephen, watch out. The hard fake. Turn middle, fake middle, shoot baseline. Hard, that's it. Notice what Dave does. Do it again, Dave. He keeps the ball up, never bringing it down. Do it again. He keeps the ball up so the guard can't come in here and double down. Turn, shot. That's Bernard King. Now let's go to Dominique Wilkins. If the man reacts, if he reacts and goes the other way, up in here, we go up and under the man. It's called up and under. Dominique Wilkins. Hard, Dave, hard. Up, under. All right, up and under the other way. Dominique Wilkins the other way. Up, under, quick. Quickness is the key. All right, the last one. The last one is Jack Sigma. What we do now is we locate the defense. Any good low post player will catch the ball, pull in, turn and locate Abdul, turn and locate, and then pivot away from the man into a Jack Sigma move. All right, let's do it, David. Jack Sigma. All right, Stephen, Jack Sigma. Jack Sigma. Okay, that's Jack Sigma with the fake. Okay, let's look at the components of the low post game. First, post up at the first marker so you have your board angle. 2, post up wide, and if the man 3/4 you, step and move him up the lane. 3, when the ball is thrown to you, bring it in and locate the defense where he's playing you. Then get ready to make 1 of 5 moves. Moses Malone, Kevin McHale, Dominique Wilkins, Jack Sigma, or Bernard King. You ready to do it?
Seen some of those moves already on the court, Coach.
Marty Conlon and Abdul have picked him up, I think, at a rapid pace. Dave Kiffer, it took him about a month and a half to pick up. We'd like Jacek Duda to do more. He likes to jump hook, but we'd like him to go up and under because it draws the foul. The up and under move is great for us because it does get the shot blockers up in the air and gets people like Charlie Smith and Cycli in foul trouble.
All right, thank you, Coach. That's enough for the lessons this week, but we have a lot more business to do. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Friars' upcoming opponents. But first, a look at this week's Big East games. We're back for a scouting report on the Friars' upcoming opponents, but first, Coach, let's take a look at the current Big East standings. Oh, there we go. Villanova, your opponent tonight, 3-0. Syracuse, 2-0. Pittsburgh's won its one conference game. Georgetown, 1-1. St. John's, something of a surprise, 1-2. And the second division so far, UConn, Seton Hall, same record as St. John's. Boston College, 0-1. PC, 0-2, and I know that's going to change. And probably this week. Now, we'll take the second game coming up this week first, and that'll be University of Connecticut Huskies.
Dave Gavitt feels it's going to take an 11-5 record to win the Big East, and I think most of us will bunch up as the season goes on, and tail end of February will determine who wins it or not. This is Connecticut's victory over Seton Hall. Seton Hall goes down to Landover and beats Georgetown by 20, comes home, and obviously they're making statements that they should be able to play with anyone in the Big East. They play Connecticut at home, and the front line was too much for them. 6'10", 6'10", 6'10" front line with Besselink, King, and Robinson really played well. They sagged on a 2-3 zone almost below the foul line. No one could get hot for Seton Hall, and Connecticut wins it going away.
Now tonight, down in Philadelphia, you've got to take on Villanova.
Well, Villanova is a different team. They're very smart, they're very aggressive, and obviously they don't beat themselves. A little different than last year. They relied on Harold Presley to do an awful lot. This year it's West, Wilson, Jensen, Massey. Outstanding quickness. They play a smaller version. What bothers me is they may go with Plansky at center at 6'7", and he could be a small forward. They pass very well. They shoot foul shots well. We must stop Jensen from the three-point line. They're not as big as some of the other teams we've played, but they're just as aggressive on the boards.
Okay, what have you got to do to have a chance down on a enemy court?
Pittsburgh and Villanova had the two best home court advantages in the Big East. DuPont's a tough place to play. We have to stop Jensen from the outside. And obviously the big difference this year from last year is Wilson's penetration. He was an erratic freshman point guard last year that was out of control at times. This year he's not. He takes over the game with great quickness and ball handling savvy. And we've got to trap him, make him get into a difficult situation with the ball, and hopefully go inside and get them in foul trouble.
All right, Coach. Very best of luck. We want to remind folks, if you have a question for the coach, we didn't get to it tonight. We just went a little long, but please do write us. Ask the Coach, WPRI-TV, 25 Catamore Boulevard here in East Providence. And we'll try and get it in maybe next week. We can have a question or two because we didn't get to it this evening. We ran a little bit long. Good luck again tonight down in Philadelphia, a game that we will have coming up in just a couple of minutes. Mike Gorman, Bill Raftery will bring you the play-by-play and the color and the excitement, and we hope a Providence College win. First Big East win of the season.
It would be nice. We were 0-6 last year. We did not get disappointed. We came on. I don't think that'll happen this year, but you can't get concerned about losses if you're playing well because the wins will come. It's only a matter of time.
All right, Coach. Again, good luck. We do thank you for joining us. That is our show for this week. Join us again next week. On behalf of Rick Pitino, I'm Rick O'Brien. Good night, everybody.
The Rick Pitino Show has been brought to you by the Providence Journal-Bulletin and by Coca-Cola and the Coca-Cola Bottling Company of New England.